At 7:20 on the evening of the 14th of November 1940, the first aircraft could be heard overhead. All through the night, bombs fell on Coventry.
Hi folks, memory our family have of the Blitz night is when Keith's father was stationed at Warwick Racecourse and they could see what was going on. The sky was a mass of red from the fires. They could hear the bombers, they could hear some of the mess that was happening. And of course, they were told, do not go off camp or you're on a charge. So what did Keith's dad do? He managed to get off the camp and he walked the 10 plus miles from Warwick and went to see his wife, who was actually pregnant at the time with their eldest son, and she was actually staying with her parents. So Dad was able to check that they were doing fine. But then he walked the other way up Stony Stanton Road to see his own parents, to check on them. Unfortunately, everybody was fine, all over a bit scared. And Dad then turns round and walks the 10 plus miles back to Warwick Racecourse. And I never did hear if he was put on a charge or not.
Hi everybody, on Remembrance Sunday, and particularly as it's 80 years since the Blitz, I'd like to remember my Uncle John. He was working in Telephone House, as it was called, on fire watch, and when the Blitz happened, all three men that he was working with, well the three of them, all shook hands when the flames met across the road and said, we won't come through this, but we won't desert our posts. So they continued all night reconnecting cables to get as many fire engines and as many ambulances into the city as possible. And it wasn't until the following evening that my mother heard that he had survived. She lived in Far Gosford Street and they were actually in Berkswell. They'd managed to get enough petrol to get out to Berkswell to live in a farmhouse for the night, and they looked out at Coventry and it was like a big orange ball of fire. And when they got back into Coventry, the shop next door to them, which was a music shop with great big drums, was actually on fire. They owned a china shop and they were breaking the rafters in between it so that the fire wouldn't spread because they'd run out of water. The dog was actually in the shop, and the policeman said, I'll go and get him, and my mum said, he won't let you. You might get in but you won't get out. So she was allowed in to actually get Paddy, but he was really no good after being in the Blitz all night. He was a really scared and damaged dog, which I presume happened to a lot of pets. The next day, everybody was walking with prams and everything that they could carry. They were going to relatives, anywhere, to just walking out of the city to actually find somewhere to live and have a roof over their heads. And my mother kept saying, is Telephone House standing? And everybody said, there's nothing standing, the whole town is flat. So as I say, they didn't find out that Uncle John had survived until about midnight of that evening. And that's about all, apart from he was awarded the British Medal, and his boss was awarded the George Medal, and his other friend that was on fire watch with him was also awarded the George Medal, and they went to Buckingham Palace to meet the Queen and be awarded with that medal. His wife and my grandma, the church has got photographs of them outside Buckingham Palace. So I hope you've enjoyed my story.
By the time the all-clear siren sounded 11 hours later, much of the city centre lay in smouldering rubble.
That night, There were over 4,300 homes damaged or destroyed, and there was 568 people killed.
Hi, I'm speaking to you at Meredith Road Baptist Church about the Second World War. I was born in 1939, and two things I remember vividly. One was at the age of 4, walking all the way along the Folesall Road to Old Church Road, where was the tram depot, and it was all cobblestones, and I remember tram lines snaked 50 feet into the air where the bombs had hit, and it was just total surprise. The second thing I remember is many houses were bombed out, just a total house wiped out in the streets around us in Foleshill, and we used to use them as playgrounds as kids, as little ones. And years later I remember it was said that some of the wildflowers that had become extinct started growing in the bomb sites, which was fascinating.
As an act of personal remembrance, let us take a minute to give thanks for and remember people from your family and the people of Coventry who were so badly affected on that night. We remember them all. Amen.